This is going to be how to create a pattern using a text element. By the way, this weekend I finished my first font and actually exported it, and I can show you what it looks like. If I can remember what I named it. I really like it. I'm pretty impressed with it. Since I'd practiced so many years without being able to finish one, the only problem is I don't know what I called it. It's like called Fabigail or something. But I can't remember what I called it, which is not great. And I know I loaded it, and I used it even. How sad for me that I can't remember the name of my own font. This is what happens when you work a 16-hour day. All right, I'll just look for a second more, and if I don't find it, I'll just keep moving. Really? F? Fabio 2. There it is. Okay, so that's it. And so here's the text. I like it. I made this whole font.
Wow.
Yeah, it took 2 days. Not 16 hours. I don't think that's how you spell guacamole, but that's how you spell it tonight. All right, so I'm just going to... I made it on my iPad in Font Maker. Yep. It's when I'm being rebellious and not working on my curriculum. I just get to this point where I just can't be smart anymore. I have to do art. Not that art isn't being smart. Didn't sound so good, but you know what I'm saying. Like that's a vacation anymore, getting to do some art. Okay, so if I try to make this into a pattern, I can throw it in there. Right there, it's in there. And here I'll make another circle. That's not a circle. Ellipse. Ellipse. Pretty crazy, right? Pretty simple. I know. It just really, it gets exciting. What's interesting, however, though, if you wanted to scale this, let's say you wanted that text to be bigger, you can see also I'm moving the mask and the text is sort of, it looks like the text is staying still because it is. It's as if this text is filling the entire page. That's how patterns work. They're really filling the entire page, and the shape that you fill is a mask, even though it doesn't seem like you're making a mask at all. That's why I did this as part of, or a segue after masking, because they're related. If I use the direct selection tool here, pull this over here, right? So if I do this, this is kind of a cool one. All right, so I'm going to take everything off and create a rectangle, and it's already filled with my pattern because that was the last thing I had on here. Then I'm going to create another shape on top of this. Let's see if this works. All right, so I'll make a round, a circle. I don't know. There we go. There's my circle. And again, I want to fill this with that same thing. So right now, it doesn't look like anything has happened, but there are two things, one on top of another. If you look in the layer panel here, and again, I'll go to panel options and make the layer icons very large. You can see I have the background, which is a rectangle filled with the pattern, and then on top of it, this ellipse filled with the same pattern. And if on the top one, which is an ellipse filled with the same pattern, I do this, object, expand, fill. Now what I have is object, let's do it one more time, ungroup. Now I have vectors of those black lines. I hide the background here, what's behind it, and I delete this circle. See, that stuff is still behind there, which is so weird. Oops, did not mean to do that. However, let's go back to this point. Essentially, I can change the color, even though this is all over the place like this. It's kind of frightening. I could change the color on the top pattern. Can you see that? Yeah. So it's pretty much better to be unemployed as a graphic designer because you just want to play with all these tools all the time. No, I'm just kidding. So the top one I did expand and ungroup so that I could select these things as individual elements and change the color. I can't do that to the bottom one here. If I select this, it's just the pattern. I can't change the color. It's just the pattern. But on this top one, when I clicked on these elements, because they were expand and ungroup, I could change the color. So I'm going to stop there.
You didn't create outlines, right? No.
Say what?
You didn't create outlines?
I didn't.
You did.
It did it.
It did?
It did it.